Hey, how's it going, folks? My name's Matthew, aka EZBOT, and we're back with another live stream, special edition Saturday afternoon version. Not something I usually do, but I wanted to stream this week, and so I figured, why not do it on a nice Saturday? The house is very quiet right now because it's just me here, and today we got something a little bit different than what we usually do. Something a little interesting. What I have with me is the Future Retro Vectra, and of course my battery-powered Octatrack, which is loaded up with the newest version of my Octacosm Granular effects project, which I built from scratch within the Octatrack, and I'll do some demos of that, and I'll talk about the workflow that I'm kind of getting around for this. What's amazing about the combination that I have right here is that the Vectra is a very strange synthesizer in terms of the workflow on it. And it offers you stuff most synthesizers don't. We have these very cool joysticks, which are assignable to any of the parameters in the synthesizer. So this, in combination with a granular effects processor like the one that I have built in the Octatrack, allows me to sculpt the sound that's going into the Octatrack very intuitively. So I thought this combo was pretty cool. I also want to mention that today's stream is sponsored, of course, by our best friends at DistroKid. DistroKid is an online music distribution service, which I highly recommend. There's links for a cheaper subscription to their service in my video description if you'd like, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Anyway, back over here. So I got the Vectra. I'm not sure if it's mine or not, but I met the people who distribute or created the Vectra working at the synthesizer shop, Patchworks, in Seattle, and we were chatting, and they're like, hey, do you mind beta testing the synthesizer before we drop the 2.0 version of the Vectra? And I was like, sure. You know, it's looked cool. It reminded me a bit of the Octatrack. It's kind of a modular environment synthesizer. It's a really great sounding synth. So just to give you a little background on what this thing is that this is kind of like a modular synth in a box. And it has over 500 waveforms for you to choose from, 4 oscillators to use at a time with a vector mixer, meaning you can like go in and out of different like oscillator shapes and in the mix section. And you can also, it's too much for me to explain. I'm just gonna pretty much just play with the synth and do some patches, but it's a digital and analog synthesizer. Right now it sounds like this. This is what I considered my init patch on it. And I think it sounds fine. So it's a digital oscillator going into an analog filter. And there's just so many different things that it can do. It has this cool like assign section where you can just assign any parameter that you want. And of course, all of the oscillators are currently set to the same frequency. So if I change the oscillator frequencies on here, we could bring this one down. Let's do it. Let's get another note in here. Now imagine that sound. I have the mixer moving through the different oscillator notes. This is not something I can do on any other synthesizer, so I really like this about the synth. This sounds crazy. And but hear it through the Octacosm. Let's try a different preset. So these are all granular effects that I built in the Octatrack. And I think it sounds awesome. I keep building it out, so I've come up with this new workflow for the Octacosm templates. I'm working on a bunch of projects right now on my Patreon. If you want to get access to this particular granular effects project, you can get it in its beta form on patreon.com/EZBOT. And when it's completely finished, I'll share it on coffee.com/EZBOT, but it's not there yet. It's a big project. But the projects that I'm currently working on are the Octacosm, the Techno Performance Template V2, which features noise risers, new Octatrack solo template that has 64 performance effects and 5 flex tracks for you to sample and do music production on. And yeah, those are the big projects that I'm working on. They're huge. They're huge projects. They take a really long time for me to like iron out all the kinks. I'm currently trying to find some different cool effects that maybe people could share with me. How's it going, chat? What's up? What's up, folks? Welcome, Lifeform Music. What's up, Dracarys? Excited you found me. Sounds really cool, right? I agree. I think it does sound cool. And I think the synthesizer is really cool. Let me get back over to this. But I thought this was a great synth to pair with this current project that I'm sharing with you today. And the new workflow of it is that I've dedicated a track to capturing loops. So my idea is that what you would do with this particular template on the Octatrack, with this effects template, that's so fun. What you would do with this particular effects template is you would capture a 4-bar loop or an 8-bar, whatever length loop that you want, and save that loop. And then when you're done with your session, you either open a new project on your Octatrack and start building music from scratch with the loops that you made in this granular project. So just grab tons of loops, you know. Or you take them off your compact flash card from the Octatrack, just plug your USB cable into the back, bring it on your computer, bring it into Ableton, bring it into your Push, bring it into your Dig Attack, bring it into your M8. I was going to bring it into the M8, but that would be a really long stream, and I've been like overdoing when I stream. I've been streaming for like 2 hours lately, and that's too much. But that is the idea, is that you work in one project, you capture audio, so maybe save it to your audio folder as like sampled loops or something, and then bring it into some other existing projects. That's how this would be done. This wouldn't be, you could use this in a live performance setup if you were doing like an ambient thing. I think that would be cool. I do plan on coming out with a Chic template or maybe a Faderfox EC4 template so that you can just have granular access or control over the granular controls. Hello all, can I field any questions you may have about the Vectra? What's up, Company of Quail? I didn't realize you were a Company of Quail. So Vectra's up in the chat. That's cool. So if you have any questions about the Vectra, please ask Company of Quail. I have a question for Company of Quail. What is our analog filter? What is the filter type exactly that we're using? It's a multi-mode filter. I know that. We have lots of filter options. So we can change all the different types of filters here. Look at how many different filters there are. I actually want this to have like a really long release. Get the sustain up too. Let's check out the filter envelope. This will be much better for the granular processing that I want to do. Right now, this is just a patch that I made. This is one that I programmed. So I'm not going to review the synthesizer. I don't really like synthesizer reviews that much myself. I think that you really have to find out for yourself with most things. And this synthesizer is one of those. So it's either going to click with you or it's not. It is a tough synthesizer to program. I know that Future Retro is aware of that. This is a synthesizer for synthesizer enthusiasts. This is something that you get and you dive into and you make it this goal of yours to craft and generate these awesome sounds using these 4 encoders, I think that's great. I'm all for that. It is definitely a tough synthesizer, and I've paired it with another tough device, the Octatrack, which is another device that is difficult to use. And I actually really like the pairing together because this, with this 2-pole notch, sounds awesome. Now let's go into another Octacosm preset and I'll show you what I mean by grabbing a 4-bar loop. My goodness. All the effects are coming from the Octatrack. Did you know the Octatrack could make effects like this? Okay, so let's capture a loop. All I have to do if I want to capture a 4-bar loop is just hit yes, and it will arm the recording buffer. So we grabbed a loop. We can get out of here. We can take a listen to our loop. That's what we just played with. So think of the Octacosm template as a stem generator. Like you go in, you make a ton of sounds on it, you save them. They're all big in stereo. That's sick. I can make a track with this. I just was effing around on the Vectra. So I think that this project concept totally works. So right now, the way the Octacosm works is we have a through track, a through track, and a through track, and 3 flex tracks that are acting as our granular synthesis. They're moving at all different rates depending on what preset that we're in. And then track 4 just listens to the master track, which is summing all of the audio. So track 4 grabs a summation of all the sounds, including whatever presets you do. So you could potentially jump through several presets. And the way that I had to get this to function is that we're using both the input mixer and the through tracks and the flex tracks, and they're all playing at the same time. But you're able to lock in the mixer direct input to the fader. So when this goes all the way far right, so at 127, it's completely muted on the input. So this is your dry wet between the live mix monitor and the master track. It's an interesting workflow that I hadn't really tried before, but it totally works with this project. Let's capture some more loops. I want to save some loops, so I'm going to save this loop, and maybe these loops will just come with the package when you download the project later. I don't know, or I'll have to delete them and clean it all up. But we'll save this loop, function rec3. Well, first let's crop it. Let's take a look. I want to crop it. Trim, edit. Let's save that. So we'll go edit, crop to selection. And now we're cropping our sound. I could normalize it too if I want. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's probably loud enough. Normalization will bring it up very high because by default, we're already at plus 12 dB. So it'll be normalized and then plus 12 dB. It's going to be incredibly loud. So not really necessary, but could be useful for some folks who like to normalize all their files. So let's go over here, function rec3, whoops, and we'll save this recording, and we'll call it Cosm loop 1. Should be fair. You know, you can copy and paste this too. You can copy and paste your text. So when we save another one, we could actually just copy this verbiage here. Cosm loop 1. Cool. Saving sample. We don't need to assign it. We don't want to assign it. We're just saving stuff. That's all we wanted to do. Now we can go into recording another loop or getting some new sounds going. So I like what I've designed here on the Vectra so far. course, it does need effects. I think that it sounds the best with some effects. I am going to now move on to a new preset, and maybe we'll take a look at the sequencer. But really, I just want to capture sounds. It's got these great 303s. Let's have a listen to this. Pretty cool. The sequencer is really fun. You can go into the back into the sequencer, and we can actually put it into, if I highlight here and use the keyboard, I could go into like a minor mode. Let's find minor. And then expose will keep the notes in that key, but let us transpose the sequence, which I think is dope. And now I can leave this part of the sequencer. 120 is fine. We can actually lower the sequence because we're doing Octacosm stuff. So let's keep the sequence running really slow. And now let's hit play. This is the Octacosm. This is the kind of stuff it does. It's preset 7. I think that's pretty cool. What I like about the sequencer on this synthesizer is the random generation that it can do. You can just hit this button and it will just go bam, and it will just randomize the pitch, the velocity, and like the gate and the retrigger for all the sequences. Plus it has an arpeggiator, which I love. Now we can hear this one. I mean, it's wild that just using the Octatrack with just like some anything I plug into this template is gonna do the trick. The OP1 is another fantastic synthesizer to use with this. If you own an OP1 and you just you own an OP1 and you own an Octatrack, you could throw this Granular effects project on here and just go absolutely nuts. Modular Sound Bath, what's up? Enjoying the live stream. Well, glad you're here. Yeah, this is right now we're taking a look at the Octacosm and the Vectra by Future Retro, which they recently just released the 2.0 version of their firmware. And yeah, I'm showing it off a little bit. So let's keep taking a look. What I want to do actually is design some Octacosm presets live, if I can. We'll do a couple of them from scratch. If you own an OP1 and an Octatrack, feel free to adopt me. Yeah. I feel you. Let's go into a new patch here. I want to find something with like... Does pretty good drums too. So right now you're seeing that this isn't actually adjusting anything. That's because the filter is set to lock. And that's so that you can program sounds that like are fixed in a position so that when you go to the preset, it works exactly as you wanted it to. Looks like the mixer is also locked. There's a lot of presets like that in here, especially for the drums. want to find something pretty. Oh, I kind of like these clicks. These are cool samples too. Like, this is a cool thing to sample. These wild sounds. Like, here we go. That's a cool sound. I'm gonna save this sound. Let's record it. Okay. Let's check it out. That's what we recorded. I love this. I love this workflow. This might just become like how I do all my music now. That is such a cool, huge, granular sound, and that's because these 3 flex tracks that are constantly recording on the Octatrack are panned in different positions depending on what preset scene we have. So we're actually running this in mono, and to tell you the truth, I'm actually running this out into the OP1 field where I'm summing it down to mono and then taking it out in stereo from there into my Octatrack because I was missing something to bring it in stereo. This performance, or this Octatrack project here, only works in stereo. But I love this sound. I'm gonna save that, function rec 3, save this recording. Forgot to copy the Octacosm loop text. Although I don't know if it would save it and it's like own special, wait. We're gonna say Cosm loop 2. Cool. All the sounds that I grabbed during this live stream today are going to be available on my Patreon if you want to get your hands on them. Way above my pay grade. What is this monstrosity of a synth? I want one. It's the future retro Vectra. That was us just taking a sequenced click. That's dope. The sounds that I've gotten from this, like the percussive stuff, is really good. All right, I want to find something that's like really pretty. There's some bomb bass, brass slip. Sick X and Y can be assigned to like anything, so it's like by default it doesn't do anything. You have to make it do stuff. Whoa. Boy, this is so good. This preset on the Octacosm works really well with this patch. Let's record it. Yes. All right, let's take a listen. What? These loops you would pay to get on Loop Cloud. right? To just like, this is something that Toy Box or whatever, Sound Toys, I don't know the name of VSTs. I don't know anything about VSTs, but I do know that these sounds are stuff that people buy, and you can just make them yourself with the right hardware, of course. Let's save this one. Why not? I don't see why not. Oops. Save this recording. Damn it! I keep having to name it. I keep forgetting to copy this. Remind me to copy this, brain. Cosm loop 3. Copy. Haha. Saving sample. We have 3 loops so far, and they all sound totally different, which I love. Let's see. We could just look at them. Where am I? Let's go to Octacosm 0.5.1, Cosm loop. First loop. Second loop. All made with the Vectra and the Octacosm combined. Let's get like 10 or 20 of these loops. These are awesome. They're huge. I love that one. That's good for some techno, probably. I mean, I can just hear a kick drum come in over that. That's sick. Okay, let's get more loops. Let's get more loops. I'm pretty excited right now because I'm really enjoying this process. I don't know why I waited so long to do this. I should have done this on Tuesday. Okay. So this is a paraphonic synthesizer. If you don't know what a paraphonic synthesizer means, it means that it has polyphony, but it shares an amplifier in a single filter, so that each note doesn't have its own voicing structure. Although this kind of has something closer to polyphony because you can use oscillator envelopes. It has 4 envelopes per oscillator that are directed at the oscillator, which you can use for shaping drums or for moving the pitch around. Or using ring modulators and stuff like that. But you can also have or not using ring modulators, I'm sorry, that's in the mixer section. Or you can also use the envelopes, not point them at the oscillators, but just use the envelope section here and put it in the mixer section so that you can have 4 different envelopes per voice running into the Vector mixer. And that's a really complex idea for me to explain and show off because it takes a long time to program. Like I said, the synthesizer requires patience. You got to read the manual, you got to dive into it, watch the tutorials that Future Retro has recently put out on the synthesizer. They're really deep, and the company is very responsive in my experience, because I've been chatting with them quite a bit. So yeah, check it out. This sounds like a brass. It's pretty good. I want to find these poly patches. What's this? Oh my god. That's cool. Let's grab that. Cool. What? Sound effects. All these sounds will be available on Patreon if you want them. Let's all make the same song together. Alright, let's save that. That's sick. Save this recording. Let's see if the copy paste worked. Function paste. Yes! I saved myself so much time. Alright, now we just go like this and go loop 4. Bam! Oh my god. I'm a genius. Alright, let's get some new sounds. I really do want to find the polyphonic patches. I do wish it let you audition the patches without having to load them. I do like it when synthesizers do that. Ooh. Oh my god. Okay, so just the filter. Like a Foreman filter. Yeah! What? That's sick. Alright, let's have a listen to what we just made. Can't make this stuff up. Save this recording. Function paste. Delete. Number 5. I like that one. Let's see what this would be like with the arpeggiator. Arp. Play. My length got reset back to 0. Not sure what I'm missing there. Let's move on to a new patch. Oh, here we go. This is what the Vectra is about right here. I mean, this has no effects. This sounds really good. Another piece of gold. Don't mind if I do. Paste. Number 6. We're just making samples. This is dope. Let's find another good patch. Ooh. my goodness. Two, three. Let's just do a little fade at the end on there. Over here. Just kind of fade it out manually. Whoops. We'll go yes, fade out selection. Okay. Then zoom back out. Think that's our sample. This is our sample. Cool. All right. Function rec3. Save this recording. Function paste. Loop 7, right? Or did I already do loop 7? Oh, looks like I didn't. Okay. Let's have a listen once again to the samples that we've generated using the Octacosm and the Future Retro Vectra. Let's go back in here. Just use this as a way to demo them. Awesome. Very cool. Crazy. This sounds insane. I guess that one ended up being really short. All right, let's go to another one. That's a cool poly patch. Oh, cool. Let's do this. There's a nice texture. I do love the playfulness of the Vectra, despite how difficult it is to program, because you do need to know quite a bit about synthesis and synthesis terms. Once you come to grips with them, and you dive into programming, making patches that you can play with a joystick, pretty satisfying. Alright, let's try a different patch though. clear the mixer. What if we unlock the mixer? Doesn't really change anything. This is gonna be a good one. Yes. Give me this sample right now. This sounds insane. Look at my Octatrack, it's so struggling. I pushed this thing way beyond its limit. Ah, that is such a good bed for a track. Dude, that is really sick. Let's save that for sure. Save this recording. Paste number 8. There's so many patches on here, and they're all really wild. Moger. What? Why not? That's one of the things I like about this is, like, we never know where we're gonna go. Like, this sound could be useful in some sort of production. Let's save it anyway. Save this recording. Paste number 9. That does sound really good, but we're going to use a different patch. Oh, what's his name? Drew that programmed these? Is that what's his name? minimizing the ring modulation. You can hear that. Sounds nutty. Okay. This patch is really quiet. I think I can boost it in the mixer. Got another good patch. Like, that turned out pretty good. Loops really well. I wonder how it would sound pitched down. Let's just test it out pitched down. Let's go like... I guess we can't do that right now, can we? Because it's not going through the effects. I'd have to put it on the track, which isn't going to happen right now. I guess I could. Just hear it. Pitch it down sounds pretty sick. Reverse it? Pitch down an octave and reversed. That's sick. Get rid of that. Okay, let's save it. Function rec3, save this recording. Function paste, loop 10. Got 10 loops so far. We're trucking right along. Not bad. Not bad at all. That sounds like an analog synth to me. This is why digital into analog filters I think is such a great idea. Like, because this sounds good. I can't tell the difference between this and an analog synthesizer. waveforms you can see on the oscilloscope. That's pretty cool. This is controlling the speed of the LFO. You notice I'm mostly only playing the white keys on here, and that's just because it is a completely flat, capacitive touch keyboard, and so it feels a little unfamiliar to me, but... Nice D major chord. Let's record that. Record it on the next pass. Let's have a listen. Freaking huge! I want to jam. I do. I want to like write some music right now, but you got to go through some of these processes sometimes so that you have something to write music with that gives you the inspiration to make the songs later. I feel like this is doing a pretty good job of it, so I am pleased with that. I'm playing 2 shows in like a couple weeks, and I deleted all of my music projects, so I only have a couple of songs made, and they're not finished. None of them are finished. I'd say one song is mostly finished, so I'm like kind of in a hurry to get some new sounds going so I can start making some music. I have been working on the M8 quite a bit, and I like where I'm going with the M8. I like what's happening on here, but I'm still like, just the sounds that I like to make, I make a lot faster on the Octatrack projects. Integrating the two can be kind of tough for me. Did we already save this sound? Save this recording. Paste. Loop 11. Cool. Come on. That's silly. So good. Okay. Now we're in a new sound designer. find something a little plucky. Oh. Some weird stuff there. Let's have a listen to it. Okay. What happened to my audio for that? What have I done to you? Oh, why is that doing that? On that track. Oops. Oh man, I deleted it. Let's do it one more time. That's particularly strange. Oh. What's happening in this patch to change the amp? Let's see. Let's go function, rec3, save this recording. Huh. Loop 12. Am I doing save? What have I done? see. I cook the Octatrack on a regular basis, so every once in a while it's just like, what have you done to me? Alright, let's just reload the project because I think that it probably is broken right now. So let's see what we can do. Let's go reload. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, whatever it was, it's fixed now. Okay. Lovely. Just freaking lovely. Okay. We'll go out of here. Function rec 3. Save this recording. Can we paste it? Yes. It's still pasted correctly. I fear that sometimes copy and paste on the Octatrack is the problem. Like, copy and paste is like, oh. Okay. Save this recording. Number 13. What? I don't already have one called number 13, right? I do. Whoops. Okay, save this recording, number 14. Okay. Nice. Darkness. Cool. Save this recording, number 15. We almost have 15 loops. We have 15 loops. We almost have to our 20 loops that we're going for. This is at 158 BPM. Could slow it way down. With the Octacosm template, the slower the BPM, the more granulated the sounds will be, and the bigger the delay will sound. a good preset on the Octacosm with a guitar pluck sound. Yo, this sounds so good. Let's see what the ARP does, where the sequencer will do. Let's try this Chinese one. Chinese scale. Bring the tempo like way down. Randomize it. Or we could go into like one of these interesting features. Is it auto, I think? Mind you, this is what we're listening to for real. This is what Octacosm does to it. Oof. I like that. You can adjust this sequencer. It's a very modular sequencer. I just like the randomization function. See, when I select notes down here on the sequencer, you can see it kind of highlighting that. That's what I'm editing. I can clear them all. Oh no. We got a freeze. We got a freeze on our synth. That's sad. We'll just reboot it real quick. Such is life, though. This is a beta version. This isn't the one they're shipping out to people, so you shouldn't have the same freeze that I just had. Playing with the sequencer. Let's give it a bunch of swing, why not? Now we're in another dimension. Something so weird about that, I love it. What a weird thing. Oh my god. I love that. That was whack. Check this out. What a weird and hugely stereo sound. You could build a track around that. Let's throw it on the sequencer. This is insane. I do feel like this patch could use a little bit of gain. Let's go into the editor. Yes, let's just gain it up 3 dB. Just takes 100 years to do. Cool, let's save it. Save this recording. Paste. Number 16. Cool. 16 loops so far, 4-bar loops, which I'll be uploading to Patreon. You guys can have to make tunes with or whatever, if you like that kind of thing. But I use people's stuff from Patreons that I join. I love the stuff that Dean from Electrona Sounds does. His sample packs are awesome. So if you're not familiar with Dean's sample packs, go check it out. Does a great job. I don't usually release sample packs, but today we're going to because we got the Vectra here, we got the Octacosm doing its thing. So why not, right? So before I forget, let me just quickly, I know that this will make people want to bounce during this session, but let me quickly do my sponsorship, because these streams are sponsored by DistroKid. They help pay for, you know, my medical insurance, let's put it that way. So let me jump over to DistroKid and just quickly tell you about DistroKid, and then we'll go from there back into generating some cool sounds. I want to use this version. What's up? This is DistroKid. So if you're not familiar with DistroKid, it's an online music distribution platform that lets you get your music out to a bunch of different platforms, and it has a lot of features. And some of the stuff that I find myself using is clicking on this tab here and going down to this special access section here. And this is what I wanted to talk about today. You're actually able to manage your Spotify profile, your Apple Music, your title, your YouTube official artists. So this, if you link your YouTube channel to your DistroKid channel, it will give you that little music symbol and make you an official artist on YouTube, which opens up privileges on YouTube, like selling merch and having your music on your YouTube channel. So this is a cool thing that DistroKid helps you get that process done, because it's hard to do without a third party. Connected to AudioMac, not really sure what that is. You can connect your Twitch channel to your DistroKid and then run your Twitch stream feed through their incubator program, which honestly I don't know very much about, but I do have a Twitch channel, so I like the idea that it can be linkable. So I would like to link it. I haven't done that quite yet. But this is the stuff I love. Like, it's just an all-in-one, all-encompassing distribution platform. It just lets you do everything. Hyperfollow, referral program. Plus, if you share it with other people and they get their music on there, they'll pay you a couple bucks. Like, you know, I make like 50 or 60 bucks every now and then from DistroKid, from not just revenue from every once in a while people listening to tracks, like we have this 20-track compilation right here, but also because if other people sign up, they'll give you a little bonus. And that's not really what's important. What's important is that you're helping people get their music distributed. So here's like an album release that we did with a bunch of different artists, and that's all their emails, which I probably don't want to show you. So let me get away from that. But anyhow, that's it. DistroKid's great. I use it. I love it. They help pay for the streams. We love them for that, don't we? I think that we do. Look at this. I'm so bearded right now. I'm in this beard mode. I don't want to grow the beard back. I need to shave. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's check in with the chat and see what's going on. Saturday morning, we usually don't stream Saturday afternoons, I mean. So this is a little bit different. And we don't usually focus on a single synthesizer, although we have done that before in the past. But today is about the Vectra and the Octatrack together, and the ongoing projects that I'm constantly working on or constantly brainstorming. And I have so many more. I actually have a video tutorial that I'm working on right now for the digiboxes. I know a lot of folks that I do private lessons with will be excited for this video tutorial because you won't have to ask about it in a private lesson. You'll just have access to this information. But I'm going to teach people how to mix on Electron, how to mix on the Digitact, the Syntact, and the Digatone, or Digi, whatever, if you want to say Digi. We're going to talk about the process of mixing on those boxes, how I go about mixing. We're going to take a completely unmixed track and we're going to bring it in. We're going to use the tools that are provided, which isn't very many, bass width filters, ducking with LFOs. We have a compressor on the Digitact. We have track volume. We have amplitude volume. We have panning, and we have another filter which does have EQs, low pass, high pass filter. So those are all the tools that we have for mixing, and we're going to discuss how do we use those tools and still get to sound design, because the tools are so limited, and have a good sound for when we go play shows or when we're just writing music and we want to just record the stereo output. So that's going to be coming up soon. That's a video that I'm currently working on. Marcus Blair asks, how long does it take for you to be familiar with hardware like Electron products? Well, it really depends. I mean, for me at this point in time, like for me to get familiar with an Electron product is 0 time at all. Like, they haven't added anything that they didn't previously make mention of or use of in a prior product in a long time. I think the newest thing that they added to their products was the FX track on the Syntact, which worked differently in the retrig keys on the Syntact. That's the newest innovation Electron has really done. Otherwise, they haven't innovated since the Digitone, really, because that's when they made their FM synth. That was like a brand new product. So right now, everything is really easy for me to learn because it's just the same product. You know, it's the same workflow over and over again with some different sound engines. And I do appreciate the different sound engines being in different boxes. I think that's really useful for my music production and for a live performance because I don't want to have to dig through a bunch of menus to find certain ideas or certain sounds when they can just be at my fingertips on a certain box. It also lets me process those boxes individually. So I do kind of like that. It took a long time for me to get familiar with the Octatrack, several years. Once I started teaching the Octatrack, that's when it became a lot easier for me because people would ask these very specific questions prior to me meeting with them, and I maybe didn't know them at the time, and then I learned them, and then I had to learn how to express those ideas in a way that made sense to someone else. And so if you want to get really good at something, or if you want to get good at anything, try and teach it to somebody else. Back over here, Tape Pusher says we should do a video tutorial on how to make the camera look good. I honestly, for that, you have to learn color correction, get a good light. I have overhead lighting, I have a side light, I have 2 FX30 cameras that I'm using an S-Log3 profile, and then I designed my own lookup table, which I put in front of the S-Log, which is the gamma settings, basically, the log setting. We're shooting in a log profile, which means that it's completely flat profile, so there's no color correction happening on the cameras. It's happening digitally on OBS because I've loaded my lookup profile from my videos into OBS, and that's why it looks so good on the stream. So it's a combination of just me doing what I would do in a video edit directly in OBS, which is pretty cool. And I enjoy that I enjoy video production, which I've been fortunate enough to get enough work to pay bills using video production. Another thing I am going to show off on stream soon is this. I know, folks, and I'm going to show off all my dog's hairs. I know folks are curious about the Chaos Replay, and there has been an update to it. There's been some cool additions to it. I do have it plugged in and working in my current production. I may even play out with it at shows. So that will be an interesting an interesting stream for us to go over. I have a little project I'm doing with it right now. It's a fun product. It's fun to jam with and add at the end of chain for your live music. Let me go over to one of my presets that I've made. Or not that I've made, like I have this blank init patch type situation here. Let's just load it up. Init 9. Which just sounds like it's a sawtooth wave. So all my waveforms, you have 4 waveforms. They're all just sawtooths. I can use the mixer to go between each one of these waves. They're all the same. You can hear this little volume dip as it's, cross-fading in between the waveforms. And then I can adjust the octave of them all. So we could say oscillator 4, let's go down an octave. Oscillator 2, let's go up an octave. Oscillator 3, let's go up 2 octaves. We could change the waves. There's lots of waveforms. So we have all our basic waves. Let's listen to oscillator 1 and change oscillator 1. Whoops. So you have all your basic wave shapes, and then you can get into, here's your classic pulse width, LFO, amount to pulse width. It's already set up for you. Then you can get into here. And here's where it gets really interesting, because we have, look at how many wave shapes there is. Like, look at the oscilloscope. And then we have a second wave we can choose, and then we can use the start position to interpolate between that. And right now the LFO is already set up to do that. If we want, we can go into poly mode in our frequency section and turn poly on. And now we have a polysynth. We can assign things here. We have glide turned on. Let's turn that off. This is always fun to do because it's doing round robin with the oscillator shapes, with oscillators. And if I don't want this to change, if I want it to be static on this patch, like we want to have a, I would just lock the mixer. Now this won't do anything, and we'll always have poly. The same thing goes with the filter. So you find where you want the resonance and the filter frequency to be. You give it some enveloping. It's using this envelope here. We also have envelope looping that we can do. Check that out. That's cool, and then I can go into my filter and then lock this. I don't need the LFO. But I can go back over to these waveforms here, and we could assign the modifier to the X for all the waves. Back into Octacosm. Pretty cool. Let's go back into these patches because the people that have made the patches on this thing already are way better at programming this than me. Some of them don't have any of these joysticks assigned yet. I, for one, like the joystick aspect. Sounds nuts. I recorded that one, I might do it again. I like the end of it. The patch is dope. Here we go. Let's get this. Not bad. It's a cool little stem. How far along are we on patches? 16, so this is number 17. Save this recording, paste. Number 17. it says empty slot. That's like just the Octatrack just tripping. Just tripping out. That's how far we've pushed it with the Octacosm template. That patch is dope. Wow. There's the play mode. This is another way to program the sequencer on here. When I put on a scale, I think it keeps it in the scale too. Okay. That's just real hot. I think we're flipping. I mean, that one sounds crazy. Oops. Sounds good. What are these ones? Now we're being really weird. pretty good. This patch does really good with plucky sounds. So because I brought the tempo down on the Octatrack, or the Octacosm as it is in this current state, the recording was able to record for a lot longer because the tempo was a lot shorter. So this is actually a really long recording. So let's save that one. Save this recording, paste number 18. Cool. And I'm going to go copy this part and go to part 2 and paste it on part 2. And then let's switch over to part 2. Start on patch 1. And let's play with some stuff. Right now we have filters coming in here and a master chorus. And let's maybe play with like a phaser. So that's on this granular side here. Maybe we'll put phasers on all of them. And bring the phaser up on all of them. Find a speed that works. Of course, I'm totally clipping. This a little bit. Let's change the delay times. Really short delays. Here. Maybe pitch this up a fifth. I'm one's up an octave. My dark reverb's up a little high on this one. Here we go. Now we have a new patch for the Octacosm. Whoa, that one was good. Turn the mains back up. Let's put that on the sequencer. Not bad. Let's save it. Get rid of that trigger. Back in here. Function rec 3. Save this recording. Paste. We don't have that in there because I restarted it. It's Cosm 19, I believe. Cosm 9 loop. One 9. Save. Sick. Let's save that one as number 20, and we can be finished after that. I think that's pretty good. Save this recording. Gotta name it again, so I don't have that saved in the buffer. Octacosm. Loop. 20. Save. All right, let's have a listen to the 20 loops that we made using the Future Retro Vectra, which is a digital analog hybrid synthesizer with like up to 500 modular patch points internally, 500 different waveforms, a vectral mixer, or I think that's what it is, and a pretty wild synthesizer. It's currently available now. I've been beta testing it for a couple of weeks. This is a beta unit. If you order one from Future Retro, it might have some more features than the one I have now. I'm not sure. Let's take a listen to these patches, though. All right. These are all patches we made using the Vectra and the Octacosm 0.6 beta. So this is an Octatrack project that's a granular synthesis effect that I'm making for the Octatrack, which you can find on my Patreon, which is patreon.com/EZBOT. Let's have a listen to the 20 loops. Loop 1 sounds awesome. This cool noise loop. Couple of good nuggets in there. Pretty crazy. I'll be using that later. Great, like, drum and bass background. It's cool chord loop. Listen to that. What? Good luck making that in your hardware. That's Octacosm magic right there. Some random noise. Oops. Loop 10. Freaking huge. That's a good one. Loop 14. Oh my gosh. The effects. It's the stereo on that. Gosh, I like that one a lot. This one's just weird. If you were to just like loop that and put a kick drum behind it, like find a weird rhythm there, it'd be good for techno. That's loop 20. Cool. My name's Matthew, aka EZBOT. This has been an Electron Talk special edition, Saturday afternoon edition, with the lovely Future Retro Vectra and the Octatrack Octacosm template. Hope you enjoyed this kind of stream. I don't usually feature a synthesizer on here, but I've had this in my studio now for a couple weeks beta testing it, and it was time to show it off because it's cool. I love this joystick. I've not interacted with a synthesizer in the way that the Vectra has you interact with it to generate sounds. Once you lock all the different parameters you want these to control, you just morph into new soundscapes very easily. Combine that with something like a granular effects. It doesn't have to be the Octacosm thing that I made on the Octatrack. Could be any sort of granular synthesizer effect, microcosm, mood mark II, stuff like that. Plus this is just like pad lush generator supreme. It does a great job. So kudos to Future Retro for making something cool. I'm always a fan of digital and analog synthesis as a combination. I think it's a good idea. I think more companies should be doing that. Like the Novation Peak and the Super 6. Similar idea as this. In terms of the synthesis. But this has some more complex synthesis than both of those synthesizers, I think. Or at least more than the Super 6, I believe. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. I am going to be going to the Modbang event on Tuesday, which means that I won't be streaming on Tuesday, hence the stream today. But I am working on some new video content for folks on the Digitech Digatone Syntact. So look forward to that. Also, this is the show that's coming up. If you're not familiar with Modbang, that is my music company, and also the project for doing live shows here in Seattle. I put on live hardware, exclusively live hardware, no computers allowed, every single month, and I have for about a year and a half now. It's been a lot of shows. There's two of them coming up next month. I'm doing a special one at Substation, one also at the 4Bs, which is where it typically is, kind of a punk rock bar that's got like video games and pool tables so you can play and do live hardware and music. It's been a pretty good turnout so far. This is the show that's coming up. Thank you to Shoye, aka Zach, for making this lovely Modbang poster. Ta-da! Come on down to Modbang. See D and Crystal. It's closing. Ryan Hume Ryan Hume is the creator, one of the owners and creators of Acid Rain Technologies. So come and see Acid Rain perform. Really cool. Neil Elsis, fantastic performer, and Peter's Jacket, brand new to the scene. Pretty excited to see what Peter's Jacket is going to bring to the show. We got visuals by Magic Eye and B. Alcalaroth, aka Ben. We got Dashel and Ben doing visuals. They do a great job. So come on down to the 4Bs and check these folks out. They do a great job. I'll be there if you want to get in touch and chat a little bit. I'll be there hanging out, and we can talk about music here or eat a couple French fries together. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you at the next stream, aka, what's wrong with me? I'll see you again. Be well. Be blessed. Take your dog for a walk.